Hey everybody, it's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, April 30th, 2023. So, Phyllis faked her own death, framed Diane for it, killed a guy, disposed of his body, and then pressured her daughter to keep her crimes a secret. Thanks, Mom! You know, Mother's Day is just around the corner. This Mother's Day, why not give Mom the gift she really wants? A new accomplice to replace the one that she killed. Oh, but no pressure or anything. You go ahead and make whatever decision you think is best, honey. Oh, great. Just great. Oh, Summer. She tried getting some help carrying around this burden that Phyllis just dropped on her, on top of the already existing thought you were dead burden. But getting help didn't really work out for her because she tried telling Daniel. Daniel didn't believe her anyway. So now Summer is just all alone with this knowledge. If Daniel had believed Summer, I think he would have chosen to not keep the secret. I think Daniel would have been mad, and that's why Phyllis didn't tell him. And also, Daniel simply doesn't hate Diane as much as Summer does, and Phyllis knows that. So Phyllis chose to reveal herself only to Summer, not to Daniel. So it's a good thing for Phyllis that Daniel and Lily didn't come around the corner deciding to sit on that park bench together at that exact same time. Or it's a good thing that Billy and Chelsea didn't decide to eat their Chinese takeout there or something, because boy, was she right out in the open. Giving Summer the shock of her life. Allison Lanier gave the best reactions in those scenes. She is my official favorite Summer. No more beating around the bush about it. She's the best. She gave choice faces for every single reaction all along the way of Phyllis's story. Shock, disbelief, love, horror. I mean, Summer lost her mother, and she would have given anything to get her back. And now here she is, back. But with a caveat. There will be no going back to Genoa City for Phyllis for now, because too much has happened. If Phyllis were to come back now, she would be in deep trouble with the law and with the whole town. I'm sure all of her friends and family would embrace her and then quickly call for her head. So Phyllis just needs Summer to buy her a little bit of time. Phyllis needs Summer to buy her a little bit of time until she comes up with another plan that will undo the previous plan that she willingly went along with Jeremy. I don't know if any of you felt this way. I don't know if any of you felt this way, but I thought that Phyllis seriously misrepresented how the plan went down. She said that Jeremy manipulated her, that Jeremy preyed on her weaknesses and talked her into the whole thing. I don't know about that. Yes, Jeremy is the one who approached her, and yes, he followed up with her many times after she turned him down, and he kept asking, but when Phyllis found out that Jack and Diane were engaged, she went all in. She was a completely willing participant, plotting and planning all along the way, apparently even planting evidence in Diane's room when we, the audience, weren't looking. And now she's blaming it all on Jeremy as if he's the big bad guy and she's his victim. Well, it wasn't until the very end that Phyllis realized that she was in over her head and that she had done a really bad thing. She screwed Jeremy over by going back on their plan, threatening to undo it all. They were planning to go their separate ways until Phyllis changed her mind, decided to stick around, and started saying that she was going to just undo it all, go back to Genoa City and reveal herself to her kids. That's when Jeremy started saying that he needed to keep an eye on her. That's when he started turning creepy on a dime for plot purposes. But from where I'm sitting, Phyllis backstabbed him and then for real stabbed him. In self-defense. Or was it? I mean, I don't know. Maybe Jeremy was coming at her with the scissors because he was going to give her a haircut. Well, in that case, she was justified. If that's the case, she was justified. It was self-defense, not murder. Was it? Was it? Yes, of course it was. But boy, listening to Phyllis recount how she killed Jeremy was intense. She said that she just blacked out. And when she came to, he was dead. Real dead. Covered in blood. She had to make a sushi roll out of him with the shower curtains and then, I don't know, shove him into the sea. The Genoa City lake. Try to make it look like one of his criminal croonies did it. But Michael and Jack are onto it. They know that dead Jeremy is somehow the key to Diane's freedom, but I mean that same key unlocks Phyllis's guilt, and I don't know how Phyllis is going to get out of this. And now she's dragged Summer into it. Now Summer is caught between her feelings for her mother, who she thought was dead, wanting to protect her mother, but also knowing that her mother-in-law, Kyle's mother, her husband's mother, is rotting away in jail for a crime that she didn't commit. Being wrongly accused leaves a girl with a lot of time to sit and think and try to figure things out and figure out how the heck it is that you got here. And Diane was so close this week to figuring it all out. I couldn't believe it. She had a meeting with Michael, and Michael started laying out all of the evidence against Diane. There was the $30 receipt from the Genoa City Artisan Poison Shop. $30 bought her that bottle of poison. I say that's a deal. Maybe they had a sale on poison, artisan poison. I don't know. It's ethically sourced, artisan, handmade poison. I'm sure Diane or Phyllis or whoever bought the poison went bougie. So we have the poison receipt. We have the phone call that Phyllis left on Michael's voicemail. And by the way, I loved the moment where Michael had to present the evidence against his own case, that he's providing against his own case. I love that little twist inside of a twist. And then the last evidence is a handwritten letter from Phyllis that was found in Diane's bedroom. That should be a red flag to any cop who writes handwritten letters to their rival after about, I don't know, the 7th grade. It's just so ridiculous that Diane took one look at that letter and said, okay, well, you know who could have planted this? Phyllis. Ding, 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 Diane. Give the woman a stuffed bear. I couldn't believe it. She guessed that Phyllis could have been involved in a plot to set her up for an attempted murder, but then maybe something went terribly, terribly wrong and Phyllis actually did lose her life. So close. So close, Diane. I couldn't believe it. I mean, the only thing that Diane didn't figure out, the only thing that was missing was the fact that at that very moment, Phyllis was standing in broad daylight in the Genoa City Park, revealing herself to Summer. Jack and Lauren had a meeting this week. Are they still in business together? Because it's going to be awkward around the office, thinking that Jack's girlfriend killed Phyllis. Lauren told Jack that she and Michael weren't even talking about the whole Diane-Phyllis issue and the fact that Michael was representing Diane, or, against Phyllis's murder. They hadn't talked about it because they had saved it for us to witness, and I really appreciate that. It was supposed to be just a quiet date night at the jazz club where Phyllis collapsed, somewhere they could go to not think about Phyllis. Well, it makes sense they would want to go to the jazz club where Phyllis collapsed. The last place they saw Phyllis alive. Perfect sense to me. And instead of being a quiet little jazzy evening, it ended up erupting into an epic argument. Michael tried explaining why he had chosen to represent Diane, and I thought it was very interesting that his decision all boiled down to Victor and Nikki. Michael saw how quickly Victor and Nikki had rushed to judgment on Diane, and he realized that any jury would be doing exactly the same thing. And so, in addition to the fact that he doesn't believe that Diane did this, he also doesn't want her to get an unfair trial. But Lauren argued that Michael is basically taking a risk that their best friend's murderer will go unpunished, will go free, will walk free. And she said if that happens, she's not even going to be able to look at him again. Wow. If Lauren and Michael's relationship is destroyed over this, it's going to be really hard for them to muster up enough enthusiasm to attend the jailhouse wedding that Jack is planning for he and Diane. Oh, please don't let Jack and Diane get married in jail. This is not what I had in mind. This is not my idea of romance. I need an elegant backyard wedding at the Abbott house, like Kyle and Summer had, but with no helicopters this time. Tucker stole Victor's pen to sign away his company and get in his helicopter and fly away from Genoa City forever. And Ashley could not handle it. Oh my goodness. Ashley has not been this dynamic and complex in years. She went to his hotel room and said, I don't want you to go. And we know how hard it would have been for her to say that, and she still couldn't even completely say it. Tucker asked her to admit that she wants him just as much as he wants her, and she couldn't do it. Even with him leaving town on the line, she couldn't say the words. She is so locked up inside of herself, she couldn't even say the words. She just bedded him instead, which I am not complaining about. And neither was Tucker. I loved how Tucker turned the tables on her, too. I mean, he really put her in her place. She has been the one holding, or thinking that she's been holding the leash on him for all of these weeks now. But maybe Tucker was only letting her think that, because he did lay down the law with her, saying, hey, I don't need your redemption. I don't need your approval. And I'm not just going to stick around to continue to be your toy. So I liked that he stood up to her. That needed to happen. And it was good also to see that he was breaking through some of Ashley's walls, at least a little. I mean, she did admit that she had a plan. She thought she knew what she was doing. She wanted to see Tucker reunite with Devon, and she admitted that, yeah, she was hoping somehow they might be able to find their way back to each other in the process, and that she could find a way to trust him again. And maybe we're there. Maybe we finally have hit that boiling point. She invited Tucker to move in with her to the Abbott mansion. In a separate guest room, though, of course. She's not going to give him the full package. She's just giving him a sample. And then they're going to see if living under the same roof will do the trick to kind of restore that trust between them. It's going to restore something between them. Most likely sex. Because next week, it looks like Tucker is bumping into Jack, all tousled up. His hair is all tousled up from having sex with Ashley in her childhood bedroom all night long. And he's just gone down to the kitchen to get some breakfast in bed to bring back up to her, to bring back up to his queen. That is going to be amazing. I want this. I want this to continue forever. I hope that Ashley is sincere about everything that she has said to Tucker, and I also hope that she continues to evolve and melt down her ice walls around him. I'll tell you, on Friday, it kind of seemed like she was angling to find out if Tucker had plans to get another job now that he has sold McCall Unlimited. And that made me think that she is wanting to hire him at Jabot too. So hiring him at Jabot, moving him into the mansion, all of this seems like progress on their relationship. But of course, I also know that Ashley can be a master manipulator, and I can't help but wonder how much of her invitations are also a manipulation to get back at Jack. Jack told Ashley that Diane is going to come home when her good name is cleared. And again, Jack told Ashley that if she doesn't like the fact that this is Diane's home now, then she can move out. And Ashley is real tired of hearing that. She's real tired of Jack seeming like he's the entitled one and only heir to everything Abbott, and thereby, by the way, everything Jabot. Ashley responded by telling Jack that maybe he should be the one to move out. Maybe he should get a little house next to whatever prison Diane gets shipped off to. She's gonna cost you everything, Jack. Look what she's done to you. Eventually, you're gonna lose everything. You're gonna lose the house. You're gonna lose Jabot. The board is gonna vote you out, she says. What board? Are we back to that? Suddenly there's a board? Is there gonna be a shakeup at Jabot? Maybe Ashley will give Tucker a board seat and there will be a shakeup at Jabot. Or maybe Billy will be the one to benefit from all of the chaos. I'm loving large and in charge Billy, holding down the fort at Jabot, while the rest of the family titters around about Diane. I think Billy looks good behind the desk. I think he looks good on the couch. He looks good pouring drinks and offering advice like the bartender he should have been. Did you notice that? Billy had 2 heart-to-heart talks this week, one with Kyle, one with Jack. First thing he did was get out the glasses and pour them both a drink. Sit down. Let me get you a drink. What a pro. Oh, but that lovemaking scene with Chelsea, though, that was lame. They didn't even take their clothes off. It was a bed scene with them kissing fully clothed. Maybe Billy should just stick to giving advice, because his interactions with Kyle and Jack were far more intriguing than that lame lovemaking scene with Chelsea. Billy encouraged Jack to face his grief over losing Phyllis, which I thought was about time. I mean, just because Jack and Phyllis had been furious with each other over these past few months, that doesn't erase the decades of magic between them. I do wonder if we were seeing all of those flashbacks as a sign that Jack is meant to be softened up for when Phyllis does finally fully reveal herself as alive. But Billy also was giving out relationship advice to Kyle. He said, Kyle, work it out. You're in separate bedrooms now. That is the first stop on the train to Splitsville. If you gotta go and talk outside her bedroom door, do it if you have to. Get that train back on track. By the way, the current Abbott household occupancy is Jack in his master suite, Jack in the big boy suite, Ashley in her princess suite, Tucker in one of the guest rooms, Kyle and Summer in 2 separate bedrooms, Allie has moved in with Noah, and Tracy moved back to New York City to get away from the madness that always seems to surround this town and this family. Imagine that. This town is madness. I better go back to New York City. It's too mad here. Everybody keeps calling Genoa City small town. Lately, they keep referring to it as a small town, small town. Wait a minute. I thought it was bustling. Thought it was like billionaire conglomerations battling. I mean, a lot's going on for a small town. But it's just too crazy here. I gotta get back to New York City, where things are normal. I guess Tracy's moving on. Billy seems to be moving on. Boringly. Unsizzlingly. And Billy also saw that Lily is moving on. with Daniel. Right before Billy and Chelsea got into bed fully clothed. I just can't get over it. Lily and Daniel were getting out of bed. I thought last week that they were just going to be kissing. I didn't know that they were going to go all the way, but they did. And they also took the time to discuss it. It wasn't like a quick, do it and then leave. They talked about it. They seemed settled and good with it. No regrets. Lily's totally ready to move on from Billy. Lily's always ready to move on from her relationships, even Kane. And, she seems to have just this very forward attitude about it all. I mean, Daniel just needed some sexual healing. And so she helped him out with that. No bigs. She did him a service, if you ask me. She's a good Samaritan, if you ask me. Are Sharon and Chance going to be getting around to having fully clothed, boring bed sex anytime soon? Just like Billy and Chelsea? I don't know. Sharon and Chance seem to be stuck in the friend zone. That's what I think. At the coffee house this week, the news of Jeremy's death hit Chance and Jack at the same time, and Jack flipped out. Jack is on fire right now. He is fabulously ferocious. He was yelling at Chance, telling him to follow the evidence. Things are not as they seem. Jack was so, riled up about it all that Sharon had to throw him out of the coffee house. Could you believe that? Sharon had to bounce Jack right out of there. It's kind of funny that Sharon and Chance spent the beginning part of their relationship talking all about how maybe Chance didn't want to be a cop anymore. But then I guess Y&R realized that they have to have a town cop if they're going to have a murder investigation, so Chance had to turn it all around before later pursuing his other dreams. Chance told Sharon that a case like this makes him want to keep on keeping on, and I think that was music to Sharon's ears. I think Sharon likes cops. I think Chance reminds her of Ray, and Sharon is all too happy to play former bad girl turned innocent coffee pourer in this, big bad world. Maybe your long arm of the law can help save me. Oh, I'm just a simple Midwestern gal pouring coffee and making croissants all day. Why don't you take a load off, sexy man, and tell me all about your troubles? Sly Sharon. Very sly. Well, it worked. Chance took her out on the date that he promised her a month ago. She wanted to go to the athletic club, but that set took up too much space, so they had to go downstairs to the jazz club, where the romance is big, but the meal portions are small. Don't try that crap on me, Y&R. Oh, it's just like the athletic club, only the meal portions are smaller. No, it's not like the athletic club at all. Don't dangle the athletic club and then not use it. I know it's a big set, and I'm not saying I don't love the jazz club, but really? Whatever, Chance and Sharon were barely there before Chance got a phone call, and then he had to rush off on official police business. And Sharon said, that's okay. I'll just sit here and finish my drink. I'll just sit here and let someone else wait on me for a change. And then I'll go home to my cats and to my crossword puzzles. And then I'll tune into my soaps. Wait a minute. Sharon has turned into me. 2's company and 3's a crowd, especially when it comes to ultrasounds. I I cannot remember the last time I felt so awkward as I did watching Nick sit there beside Adam and Sally, viewing their take-home sonogram photos. Why doesn't Nick just give in? He doesn't love Sally. Is the sex really that good that he has to pursue her, even though she's pregnant with his brother's baby? Nick has got to see that there is unfinished business there between Sally and Adam that's not going away. It's in fact just growing bigger and bigger in her tummy. And he's just digging in his heels, saying nobody's going to tell me who to date. He's just delaying his own inevitable. Adam and Sally are going to have a little baby girl, unless she has a miscarriage, which I am not ruling out. But either way, Adam and Sally are just going to continue to grow closer and closer, and Nick is going to continue to be pushed to the side. What is he planning to do? Does he think that all three of them are going to be present in the labor and delivery room too? This is untenable. Have some self-respect, okay, Nick? There are other fish in the sea. You need to step aside. Nick is a catch. Nick is a total catch. He could be with Sharon, Elena, Christine, Audra. There's a lot of other options out there for our guy Nick. I love Nick. I want him to be happy, but he just needs to step aside and let Adam and Sally be together and end this madness. I don't even know why I'm aiming this at Nick when I should be aiming it at Sally. Sally needs to be the one to wake up to all of this. It's just that Nick is just such the obvious third wheel that it's easy to point attention on him, but it's Sally. It's Sally. It's Sally. In fact, I want to ask you guys a poll question this week. What is Sally Spectra's approval rating? Go to yrchat.com this week and vote for or against Sally's approval. Because I don't know. I mean, I'm tired of this story, and maybe I need to be blaming her. It's too easy to blame Nick. I'm going to start blaming Sally. I vote disapprove. She needs to be the one to end this. I could hardly even enjoy Adam and Sally's scenes together this week, basking in the results of the ultrasound, imagining their future together, sharing their fears about becoming parents, because I just couldn't even enjoy it because all I could think about was how preposterous it is that these two aren't together. It's become annoying. Can somebody please just trap these two in an elevator so that we can get on with it already? Victor wants Nick to run McCall Unlimited with Adam. I think that's a great idea. Nick and Adam used to get along, and I thought it was pretty cool. I think Nick and Adam had kind of an odd couple thing going on, and it was really entertaining to watch. Let Adam go to war with Victoria if he has to go to war with someone. Let Adam go to war with Victoria over business, not Adam going to war with Nick over the head cheerleader who is now knocked up and having to complete her GED off campus. Do you like that analogy? Because I realize that I really do. Oh my gosh. War is inevitable. Victor told Victoria that he bought McCall as a graduation gift for Adam. But I got sense that Victor wanted Adam and Victoria to be at war. Victor mentioned that McCall and its assets would be very competitive with Newman Enterprises and their assets, and with Adam in charge. Victor said, look, it could really be a competitive situation for you, Victoria. He practically said, look out, Victoria. I just gave Adam a loaded weapon, and it's pointed straight at you. With no evidence that that would even be true. And with that, Victoria turned on her heels and prepared to jet off to Los Angeles for another shopping spree, but not to Rodeo Drive. Oh no, she is going to buy some media companies so that she can compete with McCall/Adams media companies. Oh, and also, yeah, maybe to get some media on the side from Nate. Some medias. She doesn't want the media. She wants the meat. Yeah. Oh, Nate, you poor helpless moth caught in the spider's web. Oh, I am pretty sure there's going to be some hanky-panky on this trip. Strictly business. Strictly business hanky-panky. And if that's the case, then if Nate really thinks that this is just a strictly business trip, which he made sure to let Victoria know, it's just business, I'm not going to do it again. I did it once, and I'm not going to do it again. But if that's the case, and that's really what Nate thinks, then why lie about it? Nate told Elena that he's going on this trip, but he said that he was going alone. And he tried to glaze over it all by telling Elena that she should plan this side trip for them, which will surely make sure that she won't try to surprise him in Los Angeles, thinking that her boyfriend's all alone, and then really walking in on him being in bed with Victoria. Yes. No, but yes, the time has come. Audra is going to tip Elena off next week. Elena has got to go to LA, and Elena is going to end up walking in on a party that she wasn't invited to. Subtlety is for cowards. I like that line. It was a hard one. The answer to last week's Who Said It quote was Lucy. Little Lucy Romalotti already knows subtlety is for cowards. She said that to Daniel about subtly nudging him in Lily's direction. That, I think, was a really hard one because Lucy is a little bit of a out of left field choice for a quote. But Henry, Sherry, Karen, Juanita, good old Marky, and TB84. You guys all got it right. I have a new quote for you this week. Imagine that. I like this one. Here it is. I have developed an excellent radar for the art of lying. Ooh. I have developed an excellent radar for the art of lying. Who said it? If you think you know, you should go to yrchat.com, and if you should get it right, I will give you your shout out during next week's Y&R Chat. Birthday shout out to Kathy Robinson. Kathy, your birthday's today. Let this be part of your birthday happiness. I hope it will be anyway. A little Y&R Chat, a little birthday shout out. Hopefully like some cool presents, maybe an event out or something. Hope you weren't planning on going to the athletic club because you'll have to go downstairs. The meal portions are small. That's the bad news. Oh, happy birthday, Kathy. Let's read some comments, starting with Diana, who says, Elena's choice of words were definitely interesting and spot on when she says, it should be pretty hot. I'm sure that was said by Elena to foreshadow what will be in store in LA on Victoria and Nate's business trip, in quotes. Yeah, it should be pretty hot on this vacation we're going to be going on. Yes, that was a good choice of words. Naomi says, I hope Elena is as spot on as you say, and she knows the score with this business trip. Elena is fast becoming one of my favorite characters. I would love for her to have a plan that will shock Nate. He thinks she's waiting at his big penthouse, curled up with a medical journal. Curl up in LA with a hunky intern, Elena. Move on, but put the hurt on Big Nate on your way out. He is a player. Okay, I got to say, that's the perfect word to describe Nate. Player. Because he's playing. He really is. The fact that he would make the big proclamation to Victoria, no, and then turn around and lie to Elena says that he knows what he's doing. It's not subconscious. That was intentional. He made that decision. And more he's coming off as a player. That's precisely the word I wish I would have thought of to describe him. But the other thing is, I really like that you have the idea that maybe Elena needs to twist it on this player. Like, instead of the twist that we would all see coming of her walking in on them, what if Nate comes home from having his affair with Victoria and Elena's in bed with someone else, owning it, rubbing it in, and having her bags already packed? Like, what if that is the twist that we didn't see coming? Elena turns around and cheats. We're all expecting Nate to cheat on her fully. What if she turns around and cheats on him because she knows it's coming? That'd be good. I like Elena too. Oh, new topic though. Sherrod says, so the show is saying that Sally is having a girl. But why? We just got baby Aria. The shows rarely reveal the sex of the baby. Is Sally going to lose her baby and then become obsessed about Aria and kidnap her? I really think it's possible, Sherrod, because I think Sally having a miscarriage is still very much on the table. I don't know why. I've thought that from the beginning. I've had this feeling from the beginning that Sally's not going to carry the baby to term. And the Y&R has definitely gone to the trouble of having a connection there between Sally and Mariah and Tessa. Sally noticing their baby, comparing things, and maybe it's innocent and nothing will come with it, or maybe it could be part of a larger story. If Sally does not miscarry, though, here is Sue W's take on the gender reveal. Sue W says it had to be a girl so that they can use the name of Hope, of course. That would be so meaningful for Adam and viewers, and even touch Victor's heart, which some viewers think he doesn't have. And Nikki would be vaguely annoyed, which some viewers would absolutely love. So there you go. Yeah, so if Adam and Sally do end up having their baby girl, no doubt about it, her name has to be Hope. Boom, you just called it. But Naomi, bringing some truth here. Get ready for this. Hold on to your yoga pants. Naomi says, please, I don't want another few months of mommy-to-be rubbing her tummy with that dreamy, far-off look. Sally Spectra, in my mind, would be more practical and forward-thinking. She would be busy, looking for an apartment, and here's a thought, getting a job. This gal just seems to walk around in a fog, sipping tea with both hands wrapped around the mug. Get up from that chair. Pull on your yoga pants and get moving, girl. You have a baby on the way and no place to live, no gainful employment, and 2 boyfriends. Get your life in order. Bravo, Naomi, bravo. Couldn't have said it better myself. We need to set aside all of the Adam should, Nick should. It's a Sally should show here. That's why I want you guys to go vote in that poll. Let me know about Sally's approval rating. Are you kind of annoyed with her for not putting an end to this? I need her to fix it. I'm annoyed with this story and I need Sally to be the one to fix it. Wake up, Sally Spectra. Wake up. Here's an idea. T. Nicole says, is Sally going to become Adam's COO for McCall Unlimited? Oh, now there's an idea. There is an idea. Because, I mean, technically, Sally's not unemployed. She's working on this business with Chloe. But, I mean, Chloe's gone. She's gone. The business seems to be going nowhere. Maybe Sally will take a job with Adam at McCall. And maybe Nick will have to follow along behind her to keep an eye on them both. Barf. Barf. What is Tucker going to do now that he is unemployed? I mean, besides spending all of his spare time pampering Ashley, Gary says Ashley and Tucker can hold a big Abbott garden wedding and invite everyone in town, while Jack and Diane quietly take their vows in the jailhouse. Usually it's the women who can't wait to marry the bad boy criminal men with a switcheroo here. It would be cutting edge for Y&R's 50th. Yeah, Ashley and Tucker get the big backyard wedding, and Jack and Diane in the jailhouse. Oh! Ashley and Tucker are just so on fire. It makes me want it all for them. I would almost like to see Ashley and Tucker have a cheesy Vegas wedding. I don't think they need the grand wedding. It's not like a grand romantic thing between them. It's like a dorky Vegas. An Elvis impersonator is the officiant kind of thing. Ellen says, Ashley notes, these are the stairs. Tucker says, so they go up? How about down? These lines must be improvised. Tucker is such a weirdo in a good way, and now it's rubbing off on Ashley. Yes, Ellen. Tucker is a weirdo in the same way that we are weirdos. It's just he's so random and so self-entertained. I can identify with him. I feel like the weirdos in us can identify with the weirdo in Tucker. And yes, it's totally delightful. Hey, how about this from Diana, who says, I noticed Y&R has Billy talking to Jack about the fact that Jack once had romantic feelings for Phyllis and that he needs to mourn her before moving forward. If anyone is new to the show, they would never know that Billy was also in a very serious relationship with Phyllis at one time. It's obvious that Y&R doesn't want to acknowledge that Billy once loved Phyllis as well, as it's never mentioned once by Billy or Jack. I'm not really sure why it's not acknowledged. I realize the actress that portrayed Phyllis was Gina Tognoni when Billy and Phyllis were an item, but I still don't know why Billy couldn't have mentioned his involvement with Phyllis, just because they couldn't show any flashbacks of the two of them. It's as if Y&R wants us to forget that part of the history that Billy and Phyllis once shared. Even Chelsea didn't acknowledge this fact either when she spoke to Billy about the passing of Phyllis. Yeah, Billy has had no personal reaction to Phyllis's death. That's the strange part about it. Yeah, good point. Good point. Well, Alan says Billy needs to grow a beard and wear some nerdy therapist glasses. He's trying to be the male equivalent to Sharon now, without the quickie MSW degree. He did run up to the coffeehouse rooftop to save Chelsea, and he's got some rough life experiences under his belt, so maybe he is finally growing up and paying it forward. Good for him. Screw up Billy was getting old. Yeah, Billy's the new Sharon. Naomi says Billy is remarkably well-rounded, considering his gold-digging, overbearing mother, Jill. Probably boarding school saved him from her influence, but also deprived him of his father's. I agree. I like this evolution of Billy as his own character, not loving the relationship with Chelsea, just not it doesn't seem to be going anywhere, but I love the evolution of Billy's character. It's funny, Billy's relationship with Phyllis got dropped, but also something that got dropped was his fling with Summer. Does Kyle know about the Billy and Summer fling? I think that's a good question. Another question that I asked you guys last week. Summer and Chance! How about some romance? Well, 53% of you voted no to Summer and Chance. Let them be just friends, you say. Why? Why, chatters? Explain yourselves. Why no romance for Summer and Chance? Tony's the only one that had an actual response with the vote, with the majority of vote, saying, blah. This Summer doesn't have enough personality to leave Kyle for someone else. And Chance has no passion. Blah. I would rather see Summer casually fall back into Billy's orbit, turning into something serious, and Tara really needs to come back to rescue Kyle and Harrison. Oh! Yeah, you're right. Oh, also, Sherrod said she didn't think that Summer would go for someone like Chance. I don't know. I just thought, oh, it feels obvious that this is headed in a romantic direction. Southside Granny says Summer and Chance would make a great couple. Summer could leave the Abbott Summer could leave the Abbott mansion for the Chancellor mansion and bring up the decor to date. Plus, leave behind the two Abbott father-son duel going in a repeat of The Woman I Love. I did a bad job reading that, but I love the idea of Summer leaving the Abbott mansion and going over to the Chancellor mansion and attempting to decorate it. Oh, perish the thought. Perish. Remember when Billy took over the Chancellor mansion for a while and painted it dark blue and we all hated it? And so Y&R gave it a different facelift and made it lighter, and that was more okay. I am okay with Summer going over to the Chancellor mansion and changing the curtains or the pillows on the couch, but that is all. Oh, well, let's talk about Phyllis. Naomi says, the Phyllis character, as currently written, is like the movie devoted to the Joker. You know you're watching a sick and twisted character, but you also have a fascination with the character. Then you wonder why you spent several hours watching such madness. Phyllis is using her very own daughter as a confidant to unburden herself from the guilt. As another chatter, Gary, pointed out, it's all about Phyllis all the time, and she never does a selfless act that I can recall. She is a fascinating character on the show. Her unbelievably selfish personality is shocking even now after knowing her all these years. And Kamna says, I don't know about Genoa City forgiving Phyllis, but I'm not sure she can come back from this with the fans. First, she takes the Selfish Mother of the Year award by confessing everything to Summer, literally making her culpable. But more than that, it was seeing how she wouldn't let her vendetta with Diane go. She's just as spiteful and unhinged as ever. Sue W. says, for shame on both gals. Tisk, tisk. Seems it'll have to be off to the loony bin for Phyllis and boatloads of therapy for Summer. Maybe Daniel's Wonder Game can bring enlightenment for mother and daughter alike, as each traipses through a mystical level designed specifically for both serving penance and mending dysfunctional family relationships. Win-win, as they learn to coexist with Diane and Kyle in a healthy way. Maybe they could even verse them as teams. All before, during, and or after the requisite jail time for both Phyllis and Summer, of course. Just another day in the life of Genoa City. That's hilarious. That's damn hilarious, Sue W. Maybe Daniel's Wonder Game can bring them self-enlightenment. Oh, that's great. Tina B says, it's horrible what Phyllis is doing to Summer. She's putting her against her husband's mother, a mother that he just found again. She unburdened herself of murder and left Summer to deal with it. Now Daniel's going to think Summer's losing her mind? Michelle Stafford is so incredible in this role. She is all and yes. And Jamie says Michelle Stafford is brilliant in her portrayal of Phyllis. Miss Stafford has perfectly conveyed the chaotic madness Phyllis is swirling in, as well as the pain that she is not only feeling herself, but she knows she's causing the ones she loves with every move she makes. Whether my girl is bringing the good, the bad, or the ugly, or everything in between, I love watching the drama that Phyllis creates. Yeah, it's true. She is the character to watch, and Michelle Stafford is the only one who can play her. Tina B says, Phyllis did give Summer the details of how she killed Stark, but Summer did not relay those details to Daniel. Phyllis told Summer that she killed him with scissors, I think, didn't she? And when the truth comes out on how Stark died, that would be a way that Daniel could start believing Summer. Hey, that's a good idea. Maybe Daniel didn't believe Summer at first, but maybe, just maybe, he will end up believing her when he gets the results of Stark's autopsy. Daisy has a theory here saying maybe Diane was involved with Stark's plan from the beginning, which included her going to and then being freed from jail. Stark could have been playing both Phyllis and Summer, planning to take their money and frame them both. Stark told Phyllis that if she faked her death, they would frame Diane for the crime. And Stark could have told Diane that they would frame Phyllis for faking her death to frame her. Any culpability on Stark's part would be vague and not sustainable. Jeremy even erased anything the EMT had done, focusing the blame on Phyllis and Diane for different parts of it. But now Stark's gone, Diane's plan to frame Phyllis is over, and she's still behind bars, and Phyllis won't be able to return as a victim of Stark's plan since she killed him. With these women both in a desperate situation, maybe Phyllis will show up at the prison, incognito of course, to tell Diane that she found evidence among Stark's things that shows Diane had set her up, and evidence that she set Diane up. And then she tells Diane that she'll work with her to free them both. And they come up with the perfect plan to do just that, which blames Stark for it all, and a random thief who has since fled for Stark's death. You know, I think all this talk of how is Phyllis going to redeem herself, this really could be a great solution to that. What if there's a twist that Diane was working with Jeremy too, and Diane and Phyllis were actually both setting each other up, and now they're both suffering separately over it, and we only know about the Phyllis portion, but maybe there's more that Diane's not telling us, and maybe Diane and Phyllis could somehow work together to right the wrong that they were trying to do against each other. I love that idea. Because what we have right now, I don't know how we're going to get out of it. Daisy also says, it doesn't make sense that Phyllis would have moved Jeremy's body rather than call the police. In that moment, she had proof that he used her to get back at Diane. He drugged her. He ensured the ambulance would crash. And he switched the bodies. He did all those things and more. I just don't see why Phyllis would choose to leave rather than call for help. And I don't see how she can be accused of anything, especially if she left out that she was in on the original plan. Also, unless the EMT that Stark turned himself in, who only knows what Jeremy told him, I don't see why she would continue to hide. Yes, that makes so much sense. It's like in the moment after Phyllis killed Jeremy, that's when she should have called the police. That's when everything would have changed. The fact that she killed him and then disposed of the body is what just totally blew it all. But Henry says, I repeat, this storyline is ridiculous. Where is Peter Falk, Columbo, when we need him? Chance just doesn't compare. I love Columbo. I just want to say, I love Columbo. I love Peter Falk. And yes, you know what? Gosh, Columbo would be a great show to sit down and rewatch from beginning to end. The show that I'm rewatching from beginning to end that is kind of of a vintage era is the Rockford Files. Oh my gosh, I love Jim Gardner, and I love the Rockford Files. And you know, this is a good segment. When I'm done with the Rockford Files, which is a really long series, by the way, Columbo. I'm going to Columbo. That's where I can get the real investigating work done. And I'm going to leave you with this little alternate reality from good old Marky, who I think has the comment of the week. And it's really more of a scenario. I'm going to leave you with this. Good old Marky says, Scene 4, the coffee shop. Christine and Chance in a booth. Chance's phone rings. Chance answers. This is Chancellor. Voice on the phone. Hello, secretive Chancellor. This is good old Marky from the Genoa City morgue. I thought that you should know that it appears 2 corpses from our cold storage have gone missing. Chance responds into the phone, Missing? Who were they? Marky answers, We don't know. A Jane Doe and a John Doe. They disappeared the night of the Bicentennial Gala. I took a cigarette break, and when I returned, poof, they were gone. Chance tells Marky, I happened to be with the interim district attorney. You should fill in Christine Williams on this information. Chance hands the phone to Cricket. This is Christine Williams. Marky says, Hello, D.A. Williams. I wanted to let you know about our 2 missing corpses over here at the Genoa City morgue. I came back from my cigarette break and poof, they had disappeared. Christine, confused, replays. Why are you telling me? Why are you telling me? You should report this to the chief medical examiner of Genoa City County. Cigarette smoking is not allowed on government property. I am a very busy woman. I'm trying to solve a very mysterious and difficult case. Please don't bother me with this extraneous information unless it has to do with an ongoing investigation. She hangs up the phone, gives the phone back to Chance, and says, Amateur. End scene. Good old Marky. That gave me the greatest laugh of the week. And it's the missing bodies from the morgue. I mean, that's the biggest glaring thing that just hasn't got addressed about any of this. What about the bodies that disappeared from the Genoa City morgue on the night of the Bicentennial Gala? Amateurs. Oh my goodness, you guys are so good. I really feel so lucky to have you guys to talk to about the show. I feel lucky to have Y&R, but I feel extra double lucky to have you guys to talk about it with. Go to yrchat.com. Keep leaving your comments. They're always so good. And come back next Sunday. We're going to keep chatting. We're going to keep going. We have not hit the last stop on this crazy train. We've got a ways to go, I think. So come on back and we'll keep chugging along. I love you guys. I will see you next week. Bye.